last night is a culmination of the Bulls' indecisiveness in certain areas all coming back to bite them. Because had the Bulls been more aggressive and like moved Lonzo Ball at the trade deadline last year for that pick from Memphis at the 18th overall pick, had they done that, right, you would have been able to take your project player in Noah Essengay and still gotten you a player with an extremely high ceiling as well, right? You could have done both of them in some instances when it comes down to it. Asa Newell, for example, after the 18th pick, Asa Newell's still there. Danny Wolf's still there, right? Two guys that are kind of more, you kind of know more of what they are. They're still projects in their own places as well. So that's really what this is. I know Bulls fans are not going to be happy with this pick, and it's going to come down to Noah's going to have to prove it. And you do put your rookie now in a position where he has a lot that he's going to have to prove. And, you know, for Bulls fans are looking at this now, like, once again, we're taking a player that's going to spend a lot of time in the G League. And unfortunately, that has not worked very heavily for the Bulls. Like, Modest played one game in the G League, and people almost lost their minds. Now, he came back, and he went back into the development plan that they had for him, and he eventually cracked that rotation. But for a team that so many of your draft picks have just been, like I said, not to say that they've all been terrible, but, I mean, you haven't really hit on one outside of Modest Bucelis that really has given a lot of hope. Io's great. Love Io and what he's done here. Julian and Dalen are both still projects in their own right? And so, you know, you have those guys that you're looking at now and saying, all right, what are we doing here? So, you know, we'll see what the Bulls do. This felt like, once again, AK going to the same well that he's went to before, taking these young project pieces and hoping that they're going to stick to the wall. And maybe one eventually does. And maybe that is Noah Essengay. Maybe he is the one that finally sticks and can shut up us all on just being a player that's ready. I mean, that gets ready to go. Now, for what it's worth, Noah feels like he's going to find his way on the court next season with his defense first. And much like Io DeSumo did with his defense, keep in mind, much like Noah, they expected Io to start in the G League, and his defense was so needed, and he ended up looking so good that he played double-digit minutes game one. So, you know, that's what you're looking at. If Noah, if he's trying to come into the camp and prove, hey, I don't need to be in the G League, he's going to have to come in and hang his hat defensively. And I hope for one that he can do that, not just for Bulls fans to not have to worry about it, but also for Noah as a rookie to come in and say, hey, listen, y'all not finna stash me away. I'm here, and I'm going to make sure that my presence is felt. And if you're not going to play me, I'm going to make it a very difficult decision for you. But with that said, he's not going to play a lot. I don't expect any rookie to play a lot. If they would have drafted Derek Queen, I don't think he would have played a lot at the start of his NBA season. Now, I do think that he would have worked his ass off, and eventually Billy would have been like, hey, we got to play this Queen kid. But, you know, that's just how Billy gets down. That's how the Chicago